My name's Steve, this is Classified Captures. We got cryptids, we've got AI Atlas, we've got all sorts of strange and creepy, weird and wonderful things. So don't you go changing, watch the video. What do you do when you notice glowing translucent figures floating around in the dark in your home? Well, personally, it wouldn't be my home anymore, but the homeowner who captured what we are watching on your screen took a different route. He was simply reviewing his security cam footage one evening to make sure all was good when he realized something just wasn't right. There was a strange vertical shape appearing on the left side of the screen. At first glance, it looked harmless, maybe even something as simple as a smudge on the lens or reflection, but then things took a very unexpected turn. The faint, translucent, and almost glowing figure floats gently in the dark room before it suddenly swooshes down into the ground and disappears completely. The motion looks too smooth and deliberate to be dust or a bug, and the way it fades out is eerie. The homeowner was understandably disturbed. Like I said, that would have been my ticket to leave, but not him. He posted it online, asking if anyone could help him identify what it was and also how to tell him how to deal with it. Basically, he wanted to confront it. As usual, there were diverse opinions. Some felt there was something out there, such as the manifestation of a spirit or ghost, especially given how fluid and almost intelligent the movements look. But not everyone bought that, though. A few argued that it was nothing more than an optical illusion, maybe an insect close to the lens or even some light artifact caused by infrared from the camera. But the odd part is that the homeowner said they checked everything afterward and the lens was clean. So what exactly did their camera capture that night? Bill Gates has long pushed for alternative meat sources like lab-grown meat. So when a recent tick outbreak began causing a strange new illness, it didn't take long for people to start connecting the dots. For those who aren't familiar with these ticks or why they're such a concern, here's the deal. A bite from one of them can cause something called alpha-gal syndrome. This condition triggers an allergy to mammalian meat such as beef, pork, and lamb. In other words, once you're bitten, eating meat from mammals can actually make you sick. And seeing as Bill Gates is someone who's invested a lot of money into getting people to stop eating actual meat and instead opt for these alternative sources of meat, many are suspecting that he could be or might allegedly be behind the spread of these ticks that are causing this syndrome, just so his no-meat eating agenda could blossom. People say this sounds like a far-fetched conspiracy, but when you really look at the facts and consider everything we know about Bill Gates, you have to wonder, could there be some truth to it, or is it all just a coincidence? Bill Gates. I'm not even going to say anything, quite frankly, because it just makes me angry. There are a lot of wonders we come across every single day, and we've seen quite a number of them on this channel. But somehow they never stop shocking me. A woman from Philly recently shared a video while she was walking down the street when she noticed something very strange. Right there in the middle of the street, water was dripping down as if it were raining, but only in that one exact spot. Thinking it was a leaky pipe from one of the nearby buildings, she turned a camera upward to find where it was coming from, but to her surprise, there was nothing above, just dark sky. Now, it might be a microburst, a rare weather phenomenon where a tiny cell of rain falls in just one isolated spot. Others think it could be water leaking from a hidden source, maybe an aircraft or a nearby pipe. But others believe it might be a glitch in the atmosphere or even a natural anomaly that we still don't fully understand.
Wait a minute, there's nothing in the air. Hold up. Is it really? No. No, there's nothing up there.
Y'all, look, it's literally raining in one spot. Look.
But let me go stand under it for good.
There's no rain nowhere else but right here.
Daycares are supposed to be safe, warm, and full of laughter, not the kind of place that sends chills down your spine. But sometimes even the most innocent places can be unsettling. So this next story comes from a daycare worker who shared a photo that's honestly freaked a lot of people out. It was nap time, and all the kids were asleep. The lights were dimmed and the whole room was quiet. He said the room looked kind of creepy in the dark. So just as a joke, he decided to snap a few photographs to show his girlfriend how eerie it looked. But when he looked through the pictures, one of them stood out, and not in a good way. In the photo, you can see what looks like a small child-shaped figure, but it's off somehow. The body looks distorted mid-run, and the face is blurred. At the time, all the kids were asleep, every single one of them, and yet this ghostly child was caught in the middle of a supposedly quiet daycare. Now, on October the 1st, a witness in Germany noticed something very unusual in the sky during sundown. So during sunset, this witness spots what looks like a red glowing orb hanging in the sky. He zooms in, but even then it's hard to make out any structure. It's not shaped like a plane, a drone, or even a flare. It's just this perfectly round, glowing red sphere suspended in the air. Then fast forward 2 days to October the 3rd, another video from the exact same location, but this time it's late at night and the sky is pitch black with no stars except for one thing, an orb. But this time it's white. So what are we looking at here? Could this be some sort of weather phenomenon, maybe ball lightning, reflections, or atmospheric plasma? Or could this be a UFO? Because 2 different days, 2 different colors, same exact location, it's almost like whatever that was, it came back. Now, skeptics online are saying it could have been a satellite flare or a planet appearing brighter due to atmospheric haze, but that wouldn't explain why it changed color and why it appeared in the same area. So what is out there in Germany's sky? A Trailcam set up in the woods in Kingstown, Indiana was meant to catch animals passing through the night. But what it ended up capturing was something else. In the first photograph, we see this strange figure standing out in the open field, and it's not moving. The shape looks human-like, tall and narrow, but there's something off about the proportions. When you zoom in closer, it almost looks like the figure is wearing a long black robe, and on the head there seems to be something like a white scarf or a hood draped over it. The head is tilted slightly to the left. Then in the very next photograph, the figure is gone. Whatever it was, it appeared and disappeared in the blink of an eye, and the camera just happened to catch it at the perfect moment. Now, people online have been debating what this could be. Some say it looks like a person wearing old-fashioned clothing, like something out of an early 1900s, while others argue it's a shadow figure or apparition, something paranormal that just manifested for a split second. Skeptics suggest it could have been a person caught in motion, and all this is a setup. But what do you think? I don't think there's anyone out there who can honestly say they've never had a dream before. Every human being, at least once in their lifetime, may have experienced one. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself what dreams really are? We could talk about this for days, even years, and still not come to a definite answer. There are countless theories, beliefs, and even conspiracies about what dreams really are. Some say they're just the brain's way of organizing thoughts. Others think they're messages from the subconscious or even glimpses into alternate dimensions. But one of the most fascinating theories I've come across is that our dreams might be memories from another existence entirely. According to this idea, every time you dream, you might be reliving moments from a parallel version of yourself somewhere out there in another galaxy. What you think is imagination could actually be a memory bleeding through from a different life. That could explain why some dreams feel so real, or people you've never met yet feel this strange sense of familiarity. Maybe it's because in some other reality you know them. So the next time you wake up from a dream that feels a little too real, maybe it wasn't just a dream. Maybe it was a memory. Even though October the 29th came and went without any comet strike, alien, mothership, or sky-shattering event, the whole 3i Atlas mystery hasn't completely died down. In fact, it seems to have evolved into something else. According to reports, the object's trajectory supposedly slowed down, meaning it might still be out there lurking somewhere in deep space, inching closer to Earth at an unpredictable rate. And because of that uncertainty, many of the people who've been following the 3i Atlas theory aren't ready to let go just yet. Now, here's where it gets wild. The same man who predicted the Donald Trump assassination attempt has now made a new claim. He says he's seen a massive spacecraft flying low over the ocean and that it's not a comet at all. According to him, this vessel would wreak havoc on humanity when it finally arrives, but it doesn't stop there. A CIA remote viewer who claims to have used astral projection to investigate the 3i Atlas object says he found something beyond belief. Inside the so-called ship, he claims there were 5,000 dormant draconian lizard warriors held in hibernation pods waiting to be awakened upon arrival on Earth. He describes them as ancient reptilian soldiers who have been stasis for centuries, only to awaken when the mothership reaches its final destination. Now, whether you believe that or not in remote viewing or astral projection, this story ties into a much older thread in human mythology, that something ancient and powerful is returning from the heavens to reset or destroy civilization. Every generation has its own sign of the end, whether it's prophecies, comets, or celestial omens. So what do we make of all this? Is 3i Atlas truly an alien vessel with sleeping entities inside, or is it just another cosmic rock drifting harmlessly through space? Are these predictions, warnings, or coincidences feeding out collective imagination? Still on the 3i Atlas situation, things have taken yet another bizarre turn, one that has the internet and even parts of the scientific community buzzing again. According to a recent report shared by the New York Post, the mysterious object identified as 3i Atlas has suddenly accelerated in its trajectory and started glowing blue. This new development has reignited the theory that maybe this isn't a comet at all. Those who have suspected that 3i Atlas might be an alien craft believe this glowing blue could be the ship's engine, and honestly, it's hard to ignore how uncanny that sounds when even some Harvard scientists are pointing fingers at NASA and accusing them of covering up crucial data about what 3i Atlas really is. According to some of the scientists, NASA knows far more than they're letting on. They claim that internal data is being withheld from the public, likely because these readings would confirm that this object is not a natural celestial body. And to make things even more suspicious, when researchers and journalists tried visiting NASA's official page to find more updates on 3i Atlas, a blue notification tab now appears on the site saying that there's not enough funding to provide further updates. That's strange, right? NASA, one of the most well-funded agencies in the world, suddenly running out of money to update one page on a single object, especially after the release of those images showing a massive craft-like structure floating in space, eerily similar to the shape and glow people are now associating with 3i Atlas. Now, while skeptics are saying this could be a hoax, believers are convinced that what we're witnessing is the activation of an extraterrestrial craft. It's all speculation for now, but this mystery isn't cooling down anytime soon. We just have to wait and see what happens. Have you ever heard of the Starseed children? They're said to be a highly intelligent race from another dimension who've come to Earth with knowledge that could one day save humanity. Now, there are people, especially children, who seem to know things they shouldn't possibly know. Facts, theories, and even cosmic ideas far beyond their age and education. And many believe that these are the Starseed kids born into this new generation carrying wisdom from beyond our world. A woman recently shared an interesting conversation she had with her young son online, and what he said left thousands of people speechless. The boy began explaining what he believed could cause the end of the universe, and he spoke about 4 theories in detail. Take a listen.
First likely is the Big Freeze, second, Big Crunch, third, Big Rip, and fourth, Big Bounce.
Interesting, huh? The theories are the Big Freeze, the Big Rip, the Big Crunch, and the Big Bounce. He said the Big Freeze is when everything fades away, the universe cools, the Earth dies under radiation and decay. Then he talked about the Big Crunch, which is when the universe begins to fold into itself, collapsing into nothingness. And then comes the Big Rip, the complete opposite. The universe keeps expanding faster and faster until it tears itself apart. And finally he mentioned the Big Bounce. That's the idea that after the Big Rip, the universe resets itself. From the destruction, a new universe forms, but not the same one. Now, no one has ever taught this boy about any of these scientific concepts. He spoke about them as if he just knew. So the question is, where did this information come from? Could he really be one of these Starseed children, carrying memories or knowledge from somewhere beyond our understanding? Or is this just a child with an extraordinary imagination?
First likely is the Big Freeze, second, Big Crunch, third, Big Rip, and fourth, Big Bounce.
A man had gone out to visit Verona Beach State Park with his girlfriend and a few friends. It was getting pretty late, and so they decided to take the Sterling Road, which was a narrow stretch cutting straight through a wooded area. As they drove through, their headlights caught something strange moving among the trees. Out of instinct, they started recording. Now, when you watch the clip, it's short, but it's enough to leave you uneasy. Between the trees, something lurks. When we zoom in, the figure appears pale, crouched and low to the ground, moving on all fours, but the footage is not clear enough to be sure of what we are seeing. However, people say it looks eerily similar to the rake. Of course, skeptics argue it could be an animal, maybe a deer caught at a strange angle, but others are convinced that this is the real thing. Whatever it was, it vanished into the woods as fast as it appeared. So what did they really capture out there in Verona Beach State Park that night? Anyone out in northern New Mexico, you might want to take a look at this, and if you've seen or heard anything, definitely let us know. A man driving through the area in the afternoon claims to have witnessed something falling out of the sky, but by the time he managed to get his camera ready, the object had already made impact. What he did capture, however, is pretty wild. In his footage, you can clearly see a long streak of smoke cutting through the sky and trailing down into the hills. You could also see smoke rising from the point of impact, though there are no visible flames. Whatever it was, it definitely hit the ground hard enough to stir up a visible smoke trail that stayed in the air for quite a while. Now, the man says it looked like it was on fire as it fell, but the actual video doesn't show any burning, just that long dark trail. Based on that, there are a few possible explanations. Some are saying it could have been a meteor fragment or space debris re-entering Earth's atmosphere and crashing into the terrain. Others think it could have been a military test, especially since New Mexico is known for restricted airspaces and tested zones. And then, of course, some are wondering if this might be connected to the ongoing space anomalies we've been hearing about lately. Maybe even a piece of something larger, like a part of a satellite or an unidentified object breaking apart. From the looks of the footage, it doesn't seem doctored or fake. It's too natural, too consistent with real atmospheric smoke dispersion. So for anyone around northern New Mexico, if you've seen or heard anything, we would love to hear from you.
Something fell out of the sky. Something fell out of the sky and f***ing landed and is causing a fire. What the fuck could that be? This is I'm right now in Pawaka, going west on the east from Los Alamos. It must have just happened because it wasn't. This is crazy. What the hell could that have been?
This next one is just plain mind-bending. Someone was out filming the beautiful blue sky, just a calm, beautiful day with fluffy clouds drifting by. But then they spotted something that immediately caught their attention. Up there, on top of the clouds, something appeared to be walking. They zoomed in, and that's when things got even stranger. What they captured looked like a humanoid figure blending perfectly with the clouds, but still distinct enough to make out a body shape. The figure seems to be taking slow, deliberate steps across the cloud top. Some are saying it's just an optical illusion. Others believe it could be AI-generated footage, especially with how realistic deepfakes and sky edits have gotten lately. But there are ones who think this could be something else, like a heavenly being, an angel, or even Jesus himself walking across the clouds. So what do you think? Some people just enjoy the thrill of being scared. I don't really understand why, if I'm honest, but hey, it's what it is. A woman decided to visit a haunted castle in Europe that displays all kinds of old torture methods that were once carried out there centuries ago. As she walked through the narrow stone halls, she passed by cells, and each one contained life-size dummies posed to show the horrific ways prisoners were once tortured. But then, something unexpected happened. From somewhere deep within the castle, a scream can be heard, a long, chilling, human-like scream. Startled, the woman turned and began looking around, trying to trace where the sound was coming from. She peered into every cell, every hallway, but there was nothing. Now, some believe this could have been part of the haunted experience. Maybe the staff had hidden sound systems throughout the castle to enhance the fear, but she insists there was nothing like that. So what exactly did she hear echoing through those old, cold halls? Was it just a sound effect, or could that haunted castle still be echoing the cries of the past?
So bro, keep going down the scary ass fucking... Bro, what did it give me your eyes off? Okay, take position check.
A photographer had taken his drone out to capture some cinematic mountain shots. As the drone panned slowly over the mountain terrain, the footage revealed what looked like 9 human figures standing in a circle. From the side of the frame, another figure appears dragging something along the ground. When the footage is zoomed in, it looks horrifyingly like a human body bag. You can imagine how unsettling that must have been for the photographer. The thing is, he'd captured 9 earlier, so seeing 2 run off and then only 1 person return with what looked like a body bag scared the living daylights out of him. He kept the drone rolling, and that's when things got even stranger. More figures started appearing, scattering across the woods, some running, others moving cautiously like they were hunting or keeping watch. Not sure if he ever presented this to the authorities, but he did upload it online asking what people thought, and many were quick to conclude he'd just witnessed a ritual hunt. Some, like the individual captured in this screenshot, shared experiences. It looks like there's a darker world out there that not many of us are privy to. A few others analyzed the clip frame by frame, and they insist that the clip is genuine. But then again, there's not truly a way to verify all this without contacting the uploader, who has chosen to remain anonymous for security reasons. So was this drone operator in the wrong place at the wrong time, catching a real-life ritual in the middle of the night? Or is there a more ordinary and hopefully less horrifying explanation for all this? Let's hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I could be a conspiracy theorist. This is what this channel's all about, but you know how I feel about that 1% of the world's population that hold all the money and all the riches. A lot of these guys are pretty evil, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if this shit happens. Scientists are getting pretty bold with AI and robotics these days. Remember the whole situation with the AI minister from Albania who claimed she was pregnant? Well, guess what? China has taken things to an entirely new level. Reports say that researchers there are developing a humanoid robot with an artificial womb capable of carrying a baby for 10 months and giving birth just like a human mother would. Dr. Zhang from the Nanyang Technological University in China is said to be leading the team behind this project. The concept is to have a fully functioning synthetic system that can nurture a fetus from conception to delivery, all without human intervention. Now, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's happening, and that brings up a lot of questions. If a machine can give birth, what does that make the child? And what does that make the machine? Because at this point, we're no longer talking about AI helping humans, we're talking about AI becoming human. Mother Nature, at some point, is gonna come and kick the human race's ass because of these greedy, stupid-ass scientists and the money and everybody that invests in them. How can anybody not see that this is just... it's just horrific. Let's be honest, it's horrific. So a homeowner was fast asleep when their security camera caught something very strange happening in the middle of the night. Out of nowhere, a ball of fire shoots across the yard, startling the cat so badly that it jumps up, frozen, staring in confusion. The fiery light then vanishes, only to reappear moments later as a smaller glowing orb hovering right next to the car. You can see the reflection of the orb's light on the car's mirror and hood, meaning it's definitely emitting light, not just some kind of overlay. The cat, clearly terrified, jumps off and bolts out of the frame. You can even hear the faint whoosh of something moving through the air and the cat meowing in distress, but there's no sign of a person, vehicle, or anything that could have caused that flash of light. Of course, skeptics online say it could be edited footage, but others aren't convinced. They're calling it evidence of interdimensional energy beings or even alien visitors caught on camera. So what do you think? Over 3 million years ago, there used to be a creature that walked the earth called the Chalicotherium. And that's exactly what you're looking at in this photograph. This thing has the head of a horse, long front arms with claws like a sloth, and hind legs that are much shorter. It looks like a strange mix between a horse and a gorilla, but this was a real creature that actually existed. Now, the Chalicotherium lived millions of years ago across Africa, Asia, and Europe, and what makes it even weirder is the way it moved. It didn't walk like a normal animal. Instead, it walked on its knuckles, using its claws to pull down tree branches to eat. It was a plant eater, but with claws that could easily tear through flesh if it had to defend itself. Some scientists believe that these creatures were quite gentle despite their monstrous appearance, but over the years there have been reports from remote jungles in Africa and even Asia of creatures that resemble these prehistoric animals. Massive, slow-moving beings with long arms, hunched backs, and claws like a Chalicotherium that somehow survived extinction. This new Griffin footage is definitely stirring up the same mix of awe and skepticism that surrounded the first one. The clip shows what appears to be a massive eagle-like creature with wings walking on all fours with the head of an eagle and the body and tail of a lion. It's easy to see why people are calling it a griffin. The proportions look convincing. But when you look a little closer, just like the previous Griffin sighting, this looks very similar. The same environment type, same framing, and even similar lighting conditions. That kind of consistency usually hints that the same creator or digital artist might be behind them. Still, it's fascinating how believable these modern mythological recreations can be. A few decades ago, this level of realism would have required a Hollywood budget. Now someone can render a lifelike griffin with a mid-range computer. But if a real griffin ever did walk through the woods, most of us might not ever realize what we're seeing at first. We'd probably not survive to even tell about it. Demonic possession and exorcism are two things that have been part of human history for centuries. Depending on who you ask, some believe that what we call possession might have just been misunderstood cases of mental illness. But others will tell you it's very real. And this next footage might just make you question which side you're on. It's a recent clip shared from inside a church during a deliverance session. We see a priest praying when out of nowhere, this young girl suddenly drops to the floor, being hurled backwards and clinging to the wall and crawling backwards toward the ceiling. Now, believers claim this is undeniable proof of a spirit reacting violently to prayer, but skeptics argue this could be nothing more than AI-generated footage. If this is real, what kind of power are we really dealing with?
Get out of here, devil. Get down from there now, woman, in the name of Jesus. I'm not going down.
Glory to God. Look at the woman climbing the wall.
This story is truly one of the most disturbing cases to ever come out of the so-called body donation industry. Not everything done in the name of science is always ethical. The FBI raided the Biological Resource Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, this place was supposed to be a legitimate research organization where people could donate their bodies after death to advance medical science. Families thought their loved ones' remains would help train doctors or aid disease research. But when the FBI got inside, what they actually found was beyond comprehension. Investigators found severed limbs piled in buckets, torsos stacked on top of each other, heads sewn onto other bodies like grotesque experiments. It looked like a Frankenstein lab with a large male torso and a female's head stitched onto it. And it didn't end there. The man running the place had been illegally selling body parts for tens of thousands of dollars each, shipping them off to unknown buyers. Families who had donated their relatives in good faith had no idea their loved ones were being dismembered and sold for profit. The FBI shut the facility down, but the thought of it all is just disturbing. So next time someone says they're donating their body to science, it's worth asking. Which science exactly? Insects might look small, delicate, or even beautiful like butterflies fluttering around or harmless little ants marching on your kitchen counter. But when you look at them through a microscope, things start to look a lot more horrifying. Many of you have probably seen those close-up shots of ants and how alien-like they appear under magnification. But what we have here is on a whole new level. This is a pink Empusa mantis, and just look at that thing. It has this horn-like structure on its head, what looks like ears and a pink body. It doesn't even look like it belongs on Earth. It looks like something out of another world, and yet it's right here on our planet. These things are found in the Mediterranean, North African regions. The long horn-like projection on its head looks like an antenna, and its body is shaped like a leaf with petal-shaped limbs. The entire insect can shift shades between rose pink, lilac, and pale violet, depending on the light and the surface it's on. It's basically a living camouflage system. Now, what do we have here? Someone noticed something strange moving inside a hole in a large old tree and decided to get closer to see what it was. At first, he thought it was probably insects or some kind of nesting animal, but when he zoomed in with his phone camera, he realized these were not insects or animals at all. They looked like tiny humanoid creatures. They had small bodies, thin limbs, and oddly shaped heads, almost like miniature people. But they had no wings, so they clearly weren't fairies, at least not the kind people usually describe in folklore. Their skin had a pale grayish tone, and at one point, one of them turned toward the camera before ducking back into the darkness of the hollow. Now, people think this could be a species of undiscovered cryptid, something that's lived underground or in trees for centuries, staying out of human sight. Others think this could be AI-generated footage, but there's also a small group of believers saying these could be the elemental beings that inhabit trees, known in ancient European folklore as dryads or tree folk. So what do you think? Here is another incident of a group of curious people who went exploring at night. These young guys this time chose a different scenery, a swamp. As they were passing by the muddy water, they noticed some movement and took out their phones to record. Lo and behold, a creature suddenly emerged from the mud. The creature looked so eerily familiar to a human. It was bipedal with arms and a head to match. As the creature, however, turns its head, you can see the dark hollowness of the eyes. Naturally, the curious group filming saw this, freaked out, and started to scream. You know those situations where the one you're afraid of is also afraid of you? Seems like this was the situation here. But let's take a step back from the craziness and analyze the video. Is that creature truly a creature? Are we sure it's not just a man posing to be one? Let's assume for a second it's not a man posing. What cryptid do you think that was? Several individuals who saw the footage believe it's either a rake or a skinwalker. What say you? For our next clip, let's travel to Texas. While going about her daily activities, a lady in Texas looks out into her yard, perhaps to enjoy the view, and is amazed to spot a creature she's never seen before. Confused by what she's seeing, she uploaded it online. Take a look. The creature appears to be stopping by to sample berries that have fallen to the ground. I mean, berries are sweet, and if I saw a tree full of them, well, I'd stop by too. If you have ever owned a garden next to wildlife, you know such visitations occur more often than we'd want to state. But things get interesting once the woman spots the animal. She realizes it doesn't look like anything she's ever seen. Possibly not wanting to appear eccentric, and despite being profoundly shocked, she managed to snap a photo of the creature. The photo, which has now gone viral, leaves everyone asking the question, what could this creature be? It resembles a member of the cat family, sporting unusually elongated ears while sharing a similar body length to that of a mountain lion. Experts, however, think it might be a dog with fur or skin issues. Numerous speculations have emerged regarding its identity. Some suggest it could be a chupacabra, while others propose a hybrid between a coyote and a dog. The idea that such creatures could produce this anomaly might seem far-fetched due to their sizes, yet considering the unusual occurrences in our world today, well, who am I to dismiss the possibility? What do you say, though? Australia, the one place I told myself I'd never visit because of the ginormous and poisonous creatures it houses. Just when I thought I was putting my fears at bay, this clip shows up. In the clip, we see a snake going up the staircase in a home. I can't tell whether the snake is poisonous or not, but this is a sight I wouldn't want to see in my home. I mean, I doubt I would be able to sleep if I ever do see something like this at home. Encounters with snakes in homes are not uncommon in regions with a variety of wildlife. While Australia is home to a range of snake species, most of them are not harmful to humans. However, caution and expert assistance are crucial to ensuring the safety of both residents and the snake. The person attempts to pick up the snake from the stairs, so it seems it's not harmful. Or is it just his pet? A hiker came across this huge person standing at what looked like a doorway at the very top of the mountain. As if that wasn't scary and disturbing enough, the being just stood there and looked down at the hiker. I don't know about you, but that would have been my cue to leave, but not this hiker. He did his best to get us evidence of the whole thing. Having seen the clip, I can't help but wonder, are mountains more than just geological formations? Could there be a hidden world of giants residing in these majestic peaks, or perhaps are the interpretations of these misinterpretations of the actual facts? It's hard to say, but what are your insights on these mysterious giant encounters? Share them with us in the comments section. I know I said we're starting with a big one, and we indeed started with a big one, but what else can you call this beauty of a specimen? As much as I'd like to tell you its species or name, I can't, and you know why? We're at that bonus segment of today's episode. Your task is simple. Name the exact species that beautiful animal is and add a rare fact. If you're able to, your name shall be immortalized among the few names of individuals on this channel who have succeeded in doing so. Start with bonus footage so we easily identify it. The most accurate description with the rarest fact will win a feature in our next video. All the best. Next, we have something alien. Take a look. There have been sightings of strange lights decorating the sky in California, and this footage captures just a few. The pattern and size of the lights have led to the viewers link them to UFOs. What solidifies this theory is the recent confirmation from the US government about the presence of extraterrestrials on Earth. People strongly believe that these lights are the crafts of these beings. If you have ever doubted these sightings, this is the best time to reconsider, with everything happening in the USA concerning aliens. Is Earth truly being invaded by aliens? Should we be alarmed? And the more important question is, do you believe these things exist, especially the ones involving the US government? Let us know in the comments section. Next, we have shrouded in the mysterious aura of abandonment, the King's Path, a once beautiful structure now marred by the relentless hands of time and neglect. Winding through a landscape kissed by the river's edge, embraced by the encroaching wilderness, and ensconced by ancient stone edifices, this decaying relic could be likened to the road less traveled, the path to another realm. An unsettling sense of impending doom seems to hang in the air for anyone traversing this worn trail. Many years of exposure to the elements have left their mark on this place. The paths are broken and fallen, revealing their skeletal remains. Rusty steel beams are all that's left of a once thriving route. The only way to move forward where brave hikers once dared is by carefully walking on these steel beams. It's like a glimpse into the past and a glimpse into what the future might hold. A courageous person captured by our camera is walking on the King's Path. Every step they take carries with it the stories of many others who once explored this place, some of them venturing into the unknown. Would you be willing to walk this deteriorating trail, embracing its mysterious beauty and taking the risk between life and the unknown? If you would, then the King's Path awaits you. A mysterious being has made an unexpected appearance on a home surveillance camera, and it's leaving viewers puzzled. This creature seems to defy a clear classification. It alternates between an otherworldly, ghostly form and a more animalistic shape as it hops around the camera frame. However, it's the creature's head that truly perplexes, as it's surrounded by radiant beams of light emanating from its bright eyes. The exact identity of this strange being remains a riddle. What kind of creature is this? In America, carp isn't exactly a delicacy, it's more of a problem. These fish have become an ecological headache, wreaking havoc on waterways and ecosystems. Here's how it started. Carp were initially introduced to water bodies to control algae and other aquatic nuisances. It sounded like a good idea at the time, but the situation spiraled out of control. Over the years, these fish have bred like crazy, spreading far and wide and taking over rivers and lakes. So, what's being done about this carp invasion? One common method is harvesting them in massive numbers, but instead of being served on dinner plates, these fish are often buried on land to decompose in a fertilizer. It's practical use, but, well, let's be honest, it's a drastic measure. What's more shocking is the cost. Millions of dollars are spent every year trying to control the carp population, but they just keep on spreading. The big question is, will we ever get this under control? I don't mean to carp on about it. That was a terrible joke. As the world continues to evolve, there's no denying that many people still struggle to afford basic needs, let alone a place to call home. However, an innovative concept could offer a solution: the world's smallest micro-apartment. Measuring just 1 meter square, this tiny living space is designed to maximize functionality within the smaller footprint imaginable. It's equipped with essentials like a toilet, a shower head, a microwave, and even a bed. However, there is a catch. The bed stands upright and a belt secures you in, meaning you sleep vertically. This micro-apartment is being touted as a potential solution for future housing challenges, particularly in scenarios of overpopulation and urban congestion. But it raises an intriguing question. Could you adapt to living in such a confined space? While the idea is innovative, the practicality of sleeping upright and living in such minimal quarters might not be for everyone. It forces us to rethink our relationship with space and comfort, especially in a world where space is becoming increasingly scarce. So what do you think? Something you would be open to, or is the idea just a tad on the crazy side for you? Next, we have a chilling video that's bound to leave you stupefied. And yes, I'm not ashamed to state I learned that word from the Harry Potter series. Either way, back to the footage. It starts out as seemingly innocent, and then out of the shadows, a cryptic entity emerges. Its body, divided into two halves, white on top and black below, is a stark contrast to its surroundings. With agile and unnatural movements, it launches itself forward, gripping the white walls as it bounds down a narrow hallway lined with numerous other white doors. In a heartbeat, this mysterious being makes a daring leap, aiming for an opening in the ceiling, and just like that, vanishes from sight. The question lingers in the air. What in the world have we just witnessed? Before you start panicking, allow me to put you out of your misery. It's all CGI. This was created by a talented artist, and despite how realistic he tried to make it, if you pay attention long enough, you can tell it's computer-generated. Or can you? Trailcam captured this mysterious and unusual. Feast your eyes on these snapshots that were all captured thanks to a trusty motion detection Trailcam. Behold this bizarre entity, a recurring character in all 3 frames. The creature boasts a lovely shade of pink flesh that rivals a pig's, and its facial features are nothing short of peculiar. A quirky visage with big, soul-piercing eyes and an absence of the standard nose. It's almost like someone took a tortoise's face, gave it a pink makeover, and placed it on this strange being. This creature, whatever it may be, seems to be crawling along the ground, arms outstretched toward the camera. The question remains, are we gazing upon an actual living entity, a person skillfully adorned in a costume, or a meticulously orchestrated hoax? The answer, my friend, might just be as curious as these snapshots themselves. A man stumbled upon something unsettling in a fish tank. This massive, creepy insect-like creature seemed perfectly at home underwater. This strange being isn't your average bug. It's known as a Bathynomus giganteus, commonly referred to as a giant isopod. These creatures are deep-sea scavengers closely related to pill bugs, but on a much larger and creepier scale. They can grow up to 20 inches long and thrive in the ocean's dark depths, feeding on dead marine animals. While they might look like something out of a sci-fi movie, they're a fascinating part of Earth's marine ecosystem. It's rare to see one in a tank like this. Usually they're found miles beneath the surface. What would you do if you came across something this bizarre? That's supposed to be a cloud. You might be wondering, well, why am I showing you a cloud? The answer is simple. Perhaps it only looks like a cloud, but isn't exactly a cloud. How do we know this? Well, the individual filming thought was an interesting-looking cloud until it started to move in an unusual way. He had asked his wife to come see it too at this point, and she agreed that the cloud was not moving normally. They were not believers in all this alien stuff, but they started to consider it. I mean, it was either that or the government was being sneaky. They assumed aliens seemed a bit more logical and shared the clip, hoping to get other reviews. Aaron, our resident conspiracy theorist, is all for it, but a chunk of the paranormal community just isn't buying this one. But what say you? This one is definitely not me being paranoid. You see it too, don't you? It appears to be some huge octopus caught in a tango with the pillar. Its tentacles are moving all around the structure, which makes you wonder what exactly it's doing in such an unusual place. The mysterious situation with the octopus and its decision to interact with the pillar has led to a speculation. Some people suggest that the video might be AI generated, while others think it's the real deal.
Is a beautiful drone shot. The kind of video that you might see in a travel video, right? Except it's not real.
AI-generated content has become advanced, making it hard to tell what's real and what's created digitally. The chance of AI involvement bringing in some uncertainty, making viewers question whether the scene is genuine. What do you make of it though, AI or real? Here we have another thing to ponder about. There are ancient beliefs in various cultures about sacred trees that should not be cut down. Some believe them to be reincarnations of their ancestors, while others believe them to be gods or whatnot. In this footage, a man comes across a tree with blood-like liquid coming out of it. I know there is a scientific explanation for this, but let's play the devil's advocate for a minute. What if this tree is one of those sacred trees? Think about it. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a giant or a big lizard or an alien after you now, would you?
Dude, I'm telling you guys, it's not a person, bro. Look.
What the fuck is that? That's a hiker.
No, it's not, bro. That's not a person.
That's way bigger than a hiker, bro.
Bro, that's not.
What are you talking about?
Oh, fuck. It just disappeared.
What
What the Nope.
A family on vacation in a mountainous region captured something truly eerie. While enjoying the scenic view, they noticed a figure standing among the trees on the mountainside. At first, they thought it was just a person, but then things took a bizarre turn. The figure began a glitch, flickering in and out of sight before finally vanishing altogether. This unsettling sight left the family stunned. It clearly wasn't human, so what could it have been? A supernatural entity? A ghost? Or perhaps something even more otherworldly? I guess we'll never really know unless we visit the place, which neither Aaron nor Julius is willing to do. Oh well.
Hiker.
No, it's not, bro. That's not a person.
That's way bigger than a hiker, bro.
Bro, that's not.
What are you talking about? What?
Oh fuck! It just disappeared. What the? Nope.
A woman was enjoying a peaceful day at the park when she stumbled upon something truly strange.
This lady's been standing in the same spot looking just like that. Oh my gosh, what the hell is happening right now? She's been stuck like that for 5 minutes.
She spotted another woman standing a short distance away, completely motionless. At first, it seemed unremarkable. Maybe she was lost in thought. But as the seconds turned into minutes, it became eerie. This woman had moved a muscle for over 5 minutes. It wasn't just a casual stillness either. Her posture, expression, everything about her looked frozen in time like a living statue. Interestingly, this isn't the first time such bizarre incidents have been reported. Stories of people stuck in time, seemingly frozen in place, are often labeled as matrix glitches. But what's behind these mysterious moments? Could it be a neurological condition, a strange optical illusion, or something even more baffling? Maybe it's a crack in reality itself, a brief peek behind the curtain of existence as we know it. What do you think? A simple coincidence, or proof that our world might not be as solid as it seems? Let's hear your thoughts.
This lady's been standing in the same spot looking just like that. Oh my gosh, what the hell is happening right now? She's been stuck like that for 5 minutes.
Sailing across the wide open sea is an adventure full of challenges and sometimes amazing moments. In this footage, some voyagers on a huge ship in the middle of the ocean come across this huge iceberg. At least, that's what the audio suggests.
We hit some ice. Oh my god! Oh my god! Whoa!
Icebergs are formidable natural formations that demand respect and careful navigation to avoid any potential mishaps. From what we heard in the background, the ships did hit the iceberg, but luckily it wasn't something that caused any harm to the people or the ship. Personally, when I look at it, I don't see an iceberg. No, it looks like some sort of sea creature. But you guys can let me know what you think of the whole thing. Perhaps it's my paranoia at it again. A diver was on a seabed underwater going about his business when this curious fella came poking its nose in his business. Now, what fish is this? It's pretty big with a huge forehead and very noticeable lips. I guess it's not predatory because it doesn't attack the diver. Julius whispered the answer into my ears, but I think this might do well as trivia. Do you know what this is? Kindly tell us in the comments section and do well to include an interesting fact about them. In this footage, people were dining in a diner when a woman walked in. She was wearing a white robe resembling a nightgown and began throwing items around the counter. Everyone backed away from her, except for one man who tried to approach. She then threw a bowl at him and had what appeared to be a spoon in her hand, wielding it like a knife. She began walking toward him, forcing him to back away cautiously. Some have labeled this as a case of possession where spirits take over a person and cause unusual behavior. Others believe it could be a sign of mental illness, such as a breakdown or a psychotic episode. What do you think is happening here? While working on a night shift at an unnamed port, this was heard. Yup, that's definitely a woman screaming. That's definitely not normal and definitely not something you would expect to hear at the port. If it were the woods at odd hours, we may be tempted to think it's paranormal, but this has to be real. But if it is real, it can only mean one thing: human trafficking. That's exactly what the individual filming thought was happening, so he went back again to film, and this time he heard something a little bit different. Listen.
Hey, we up here, we did see it. We did see a big smoke
It almost sounds the same, right? When he discussed it with colleagues, they told him it was faulty equipment, but he still couldn't shake off the feeling. He refused to share personal information or which exact port this was recorded for his own safety, but what do you guys think?
Hey, we up here, we did see it. We did see a big smoke
Speaking of aliens, this was sent in by a subscriber. They had retrieved this from their security camera. Take a look. As the camera oversees the house, in a few seconds, there it is, and a strange object flies by. What was that? When you take a closer look, it doesn't look like any insect, but looks more like a miniature craft. Are we dealing with some tiny alien beings, or could it be a drone belonging to aliens? I know it sounds ridiculous, but we can't rule anything out at this point. Either way, do share your thoughts in the comments section. In this intriguing footage, trees are seen swaying in response to the forceful wind, a common occurrence during windy weather. A closer look at the ground reveals an unexpected phenomena. It appears as though the roots of the trees are lifting off the ground as the wind blows. How is such a sight even possible? Trees usually stay firmly in place because of their roots, which go into the ground to give them stability and support. Seeing these roots lifting off the ground goes against what we know about how trees are securely anchored. Could they be fake? Could it be that the roots aren't deep? What's your take on the whole thing? This is one of the most bizarre glitches I have ever seen. A car, completely wrecked, veered off the road onto the pavement. The damage is extensive. The front bumper and headlights are gone, the hood is crumpled, and the side of the car that hit the pavement is severely damaged. But here's where it gets strange. Somehow there's a pole lodged straight through the windshield and into the driver's seat. But what's odd is that this pole was fixed to the ground firmly in place before the accident. There's no indication that the car drove into the pole or that it could have been uprooted and thrown into the windshield. This leaves us with a baffling question. How could this even happen? Did the car somehow phase into the pole, or was it an unexplainable glitch? Any physicist here to help us? We kick off today's episode with this head-scratcher. What do you guys think we're looking at? At first glance, it looks like the camera is probably positioned across a light source, right? It turns out that's the case. The individual who uploaded this clip stated that he was going through his security cam footage when he noticed one of the clips that had this. Oh, what's this, you ask? Well, he doesn't know. He insists that there's no light source directly facing the camera and that this is a bright orb, if we can call it that just showed up and remained in that position for about 30 minutes before it disappeared. Within that 30 minutes, it made the lights in the home flicker for a bit. He's convinced this might be some alien tech or portal. When he uploaded the clip, a number of individuals felt the same. The rest believe he's just messing with the masses for his 5 minutes of fame. But what do you also think? Our next footage is an interesting one. In the clip, someone takes a dead fingerling and dips it into the sand. Suddenly, a peculiar insect emerges from the sand, eagerly nipping at the fish. The observer swiftly seizes the creature with a pair of pliers, revealing a remarkable find. This is not an ordinary bug, this is a beachworm. Beachworms are marine worms that are often found in sandy coastal areas. They can range in size and appearance, with some species resembling long snake-like creatures. These worms are known for burrowing into the sand and may come to the surface when triggered by certain stimuli, such as the presence of food. Have you encountered any of these worms before? Care to share your experience? In this security camera video shared by a viewer from Barry, West Bromwich, England, we're introduced to something rather strange. A person wearing a reflective hoodie is jogging, and from the other side, a spooky figure appears. Both keep jogging, but the ghost-like figure disappears halfway through the recording. This was raw footage, so those thinking it's a hoax, it's not. We just witnessed a ghost jog by a house. These entities really are among us. Instances like these caught on camera without any manipulation spark contemplation about the supernatural and the possibility of entities existing alongside us. Birds are beautiful creatures, sure, but sometimes they seem to have other plans. Imagine this. A woman is casually holding her phone, filming herself, when suddenly, out of nowhere, a bird dives straight at her face. She barely dodges it in time. Before you brush it off as an innocent mistake, let's look at it in slow motion. The bird's flight path, laser focused on her eyes. It's almost as if it had a vendetta. A perfectly normal day turns into a new phobia unlocked. Fear of birds going straight to your face, or worse, your eyes. So the next time you see a bird flying a bit too close, maybe duck. You never know if it's just flying by or trying to make you its next target. This unsettling footage circulating on social media has sparked widespread debate. It shows a man entering a bedroom only to encounter a bizarre creature on the bed. The creature appears to have a clown-like face, the small stature of a child, and moves on all fours. Most disturbingly, it has a reptilian tail that sways unnervingly as it moves. While the footage looks startlingly realistic, many believe it to be AI-generated or heavily edited using CGI. With the advancements in AI and deepfake technology, creating lifelike yet fictional imagery has become increasingly accessible, making it challenging to discern authenticity. What do you think? Could this footage be a clever fabrication or something else entirely? Do you see that? It's raining in just the area with the water puddle, if we can even call it that. Every other place is dry with no water. We've shared clips on this channel where it was raining on one side and not on the other side before. We found logical explanations for those because they do happen. I mean, these phenomena were localized rains, but this one, well, I'm not exactly sure what we're dealing with. Maybe it's still localized rain, but it's a bit smaller than what we're used to seeing. I'm afraid to ask Julius because of the way he looks at me when I ask him these questions, almost as though I ought to know the answers. It's intimidating. Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, however, thinks this is fake, or we've got a paranormal situation on our hands. You know, aliens, witches, and the like. Not sure what to make of that, but let's hear your thoughts. Next up, we've got the famed Headless Horseman. Sounds crazy, right? Well, not for the one who recorded this clip. He's convinced that the being or individual he passed by on his way home is actually the Headless Horseman. The clip doesn't give us much to work with, but for those who don't know him, the Headless Horseman is a legendary figure best known from Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. This eerie character is said to be the ghost of a Hessian soldier who lost his head to a cannonball during the American Revolutionary War. He roams the woods of Sleepy Hollow, often depicted riding a black horse and carrying a jack-o'-lantern or flaming pumpkin as a substitute for his severed head. The horseman is most infamous for haunting Ichabod Crane, a superstitious schoolteacher in a terrifying chase through the night. As a symbol of folklore, he represents the blending of fear, mystery, and the supernatural in American Gothic storytelling. While this guy does seem to have everything, the iconic lantern is missing. Still, what do you guys make of the clip? Is this a vivid explanation for it? Let's hear your thoughts. Have you ever had that feeling that someone was watching you? What if you found that someone? What if they looked something like this? What would you do? While you type in your answer, allow me to give a little backstory. While exploring the woods, the individual who uploaded this clip couldn't shake off the feeling that he was being watched. A little shaken by the whole experience, he took his camera out and tried to make his way out of the woods. Occasionally, he would stop and look around. And when he did, he would see the being you are seeing on your screen seemingly surrounded by fog and observing him. Not ready to become a statistic, he rushed out of the place and uploaded this clip online. He wanted answers and wanted to know if anyone had experienced something similar. Some shared their experiences, whereas others thought it might be Bigfoot. As convincing as this clip and evidence are, a number of individuals believe it's fake. You've seen the clip. What do you also think? A man was driving late at night when his dash cam captured something chilling. On the side of the road, a figure appeared. It looked like a woman in a long white dress, her head slightly bent down with long black hair obscuring her face. The eerie sight is reminiscent of many ghostly tales we've heard before, and while some are quick to call it a hoax, the footage itself is unsettling. There's no clear explanation for what the figure is, but its haunting presence has sparked debates online. Is this just a prank staged for attention, or could it be something paranormal? Do you see anything wrong with this photograph? No? Well, take a second look. Do you see it now? There's a creepy young girl in the image with the two ladies. Just in case you were thinking she was part of the photograph, she is not. This image was taken by two friends as a selfie one evening. It's as if with these images, they took the pictures and forgot about it till they were going through their photographs later and saw it. There was actually someone in the driver's side mirror when there was actually no one there when they took the image. It should have been dark, according to them, but here we are with the image of a young girl, or at least something with a shrunken head. Some who saw the image told them it was a witch, while others were skeptical of the whole thing. Personally, I feel it could be either, but what do you also think? If you have a pet, you should be familiar with scenes like this. If you didn't already figure it out, the man's dog, which I'm pretty sure is a golden retriever, brought him a hornet's nest as a present. Judging from how fast he ran, it's safe to say the hornets were not pleased with the change in their estate. The real estate market is volatile right now, and like many people, they prefer stability. What would you do if your dog pulled off a stunt like this? A man was home alone when he started hearing strange noises coming from the attic. Initially, he thought it might be a raccoon or some other animal that had managed to sneak in, so he decided to check it out. When he got to the attic, everything seemed normal at first. The space was silent, and there was nothing unusual in sight. But just as he was about to leave, something chilling happened. The chairs that had been neatly arranged in the attic suddenly began moving on their own, thumping violently against the floor. It was loud and aggressive. This was no ordinary animal making that noise. It seems he wasn't alone as he thought. What could this be? An invisible entity? A poltergeist? Okay, maybe that's stretching it too far, but what do you think?
Seriously? Hi, my friend. Holy.
Speaking of Bigfoot, have you guys heard the legend of the white Sasquatch? And no, I'm not referring to the Yeti. Instead, a Bigfoot in America that's white. Well, up until today, I'd called all white-looking Bigfoots the Yeti. This clip is trying to prove me otherwise, though. If you pay attention to the clip you're watching, you should see a white furry creature within it. Although this clip isn't the best quality, please tell me that you see it. The individual who uploaded it insists that it's the real deal, and I want it to be, but my video editor has some rather interesting concerns. According to him, it looks like the face we are seeing was digitally inserted instead of being recorded. If it was digitally inserted, then the clip is doctored and the whole thing is fake. I don't want to come off sounding like a non-believer in the big guys, so you guys tell me what you think. Do you agree with my video editor, or do you think he's one of the government spies sent to prevent us from seeing and believing the truth? Please answer carefully, as your answer will determine if he stays on the team. We can't have no government spies on our team.
Seriously? Hi, my friend.
I know we've all probably come across logs while exploring the great outdoors, but have you come across one like this? It leads to the inside of a tree, and boy, it's huge and hollow. Do you think this naturally occurred, or did someone have something to do with it? Like, I don't know, maybe carving out the insides to make it a secret hideout or something? Let's hear your thoughts and experiences if you've ever come across something like this.
Check this out, guys. This is me walking. Takes 4 steps. 4 steps to make one of those. Pretty interesting. I don't know. Let me see. 1, 2, 3 steps.
Moving on to other things that need an explanation. A man in Alaska woke up one morning to find something strange outside his home. These massive tracks imprinted in the snow. The tracks were an incredible 4 feet wide. They appeared to be walking away from his property, leaving him baffled as to what could have created them. Out of curiosity, he tried matching the strides himself, but it took him 3 or 4 steps just to cover the same distance as one stride of whatever left the tracks. Large tracks like these are often associated with Bigfoot sightings. I mean, take a look at the distance between the prints, the depth, and the size. The majority of the community believes this is the real deal. But is it though? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the big guy, but it's also possible that these could be something else, perhaps another cryptid, because, well, I doubt any animal we know would make such big tracks. Anyway, what do you guys think?
Check this out, guys. This is me walking. Takes 4 steps. 4 steps to make one of those. Pretty interesting. I don't know. Let me see. 1, 2, 3 steps.
So to provide a bit of context, this woman felt something moving in her ear but didn't know what. She visited the doctor and hydrogen peroxide was poured in her ear. This simple yet effective method was enough to get the intruder out of her ear. This woman's case doesn't look as simple, though. Just in case you were wondering, those things in her eyes are leeches, and yes, they are still used in medicine today. Doctors use leeches in modern medicine because their saliva contains hybrutin, a natural anticoagulant that improves blood flow and prevents clotting, making them useful in surgeries like skin grafts or reattachments of body parts. By drawing blood, leeches relieve venomous congestion, reduce swelling, and prevent tissue death in areas where veins struggle to drain blood effectively. Additionally, their saliva contains enzymes and anti-inflammatory compounds that promote healing and recovery. Would you let a doctor use them on you? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. Your doctor might be reading. This is definitely one of the strangest things to witness, a few pieces of meat seemingly swimming like fish in a tank. If you're wondering how this could happen, there are a couple of possibilities. It might be an optical illusion or trick, perhaps caused by water currents or magnets creating movement. Another explanation could be that someone used animatronics or robotics to make the meat move in a lifelike way. And yes, AI-generated videos or clever editing might also be at play, especially with how realistic digital effects have become. What are your thoughts?
What was it, girls? I get you? Did you guys hear that, though? Yeah. Possible Wendigo.
Sounds like a couple.
A man had gone out in the woods for a peaceful walk with his 2 Rottweilers. It was just supposed to be a relaxing stroll deep into the quiet forest. After some time, they reached a river hidden in the heart of the woods. The man settled there for a bit, letting the dogs wander off to play along the edge of the trees. But that calm did not last long. Suddenly, the dogs came bolting back, ears pinned, tails tucked, completely panicked. Something had scared them badly, and then he heard it. A loud, bone-chilling screech. The sound seemed to twist through the forest, bouncing off the trees in ways that made it impossible to tell exactly where it was coming from. Now, most people would probably jump to the usual suspects like skinwalkers, wendigos, maybe even a banshee. These are names that come up a lot when people report hearing terrifying cries deep in the woods. But this time, some folks suggested something different: the Amazon death whistle. A mysterious ancient artifact from South America that, when blown, emits one of the most unsettling human-like screams you will ever hear. It's not just loud, it pierces you. Some believe it was used by warriors to strike fear into their enemies or possibly to summon spirits. But what would a sound like that be doing in the middle of a random forest far from the Amazon? Was someone or something trying to scare him away, or was it just a coincidence that this strange cry matched that of the infamous whistle? To this day, the man swears he didn't see a single thing, but he heard it, and judging by how fast his dogs ran, they heard it too. What do you think was hiding in those trees?
What was it, girls? Get you? Did you guys hear that, though? Yeah. Possible Wendigo. Sounds like a couple of them.
This next footage comes from Brazil. A man was out walking one night when he noticed this figure just standing in front of the building a few steps ahead. At first, he thought it was just another person out late. Maybe someone is waiting for a ride or hanging around. Nothing too unusual. But then a motorcycle came riding down the road. Its headlights hit the figure directly, and here's where things get creepy. The light didn't bounce off like it should have. It went through the figure, and just like that, the figure vanished into thin air, completely gone. If that wasn't enough to rattle your nerves, listen closely to the video. You can hear dogs barking like crazy right as it happens. It's like they sensed something wasn't right. And when you look carefully, you see that the figure didn't even have a head. Yeah, it's headless. This man was so spooked he didn't stick around to investigate, and honestly, who can blame him? Anyway, what do you think? Was this a glitch in the camera or something far more chilling?
Look at that. Call my mom. Where's your phone? Where's your phone? Hurry up. Oh my god. Look at it. Here, take a video of it.
On November the 18th, 2023, residents of New Jersey reported an astonishing sight. 5 unidentified crafts hovering in the sky. What made the situation even more peculiar was the fact that these objects were being followed closely by military aircraft. When the matter was brought to the attention of the authorities, they were quick to dismiss the incident as merely a collection of drones. However, on the very same night, at nearly the same time, an eerily similar event unfolded across the country in Tucson, Arizona. A woman spotted an unusual flat object in the sky, glowing with lights arranged horizontally around its perimeter. Now, this raises a compelling question. Are both events connected? Were these truly drones, as officials claim, or is there something more mysterious at play here? The idea that military jets would scramble for mere drones feels unusual, especially when sightings like these are cropping up across the globe. Could these incidents be further evidence of something extraterrestrial, or are they part of a secret military operation cloaked in plausible deniability? It seems there is more to these sightings than meets the eye.
Look at that. Call my mom. Where's your phone? Where's your phone? Hurry up. Oh my god. Look at it. Or take a video of it.
A homeowner by the name of Mike was home alone when something truly unnerving happened. According to him, he started feeling uneasy for no apparent reason. Thankfully, there was a security camera in the room overlooking the staircase area, capturing everything that unfolded. Mike was tidying up, clearing away his toys scattered around the room when suddenly a chilling event occurred. A soft, eerie whisper called his name, Mike. The voice was faint yet unmistakable. The moment he heard it, sheer panic set in. Without a second thought, Mike bolted upstairs, leaving everything behind. Who or what could have called his name? Was it a ghost, a residual spirit, or something even more sinister?
Wait, a helicopter's in the sky. Dark. What is it?
What are those three things right there?
What is that?
Record it.
I am.
You see him? What is it?
Why are they flying in the dark, too?
A couple in Phoenix, Arizona shared an intriguing video they recorded on January the 22nd, 2025. In the footage, you can see a helicopter flying through the sky in pursuit of three other objects. These objects are unusual. They appear as dark shapes, almost like shadows, with no visible lights, yet their forms are clearly discernible. Could this be a UFO chase? What's fascinating is the lack of conventional indicators like flashing lights or identifiable shapes, which makes the sighting even more mysterious. Has anyone else witnessed something like this recently?
Wait, a helicopter's in the sky. Dark. What is it?
What are those three things right there?
What is that?
Record it.
I am.
You see him? What is it?
While you do that, let's take a trip back to 2009. A young girl and a family were enjoying their vacation in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, staying at a cozy hotel by the beach. One sunny afternoon, she stepped down onto their balcony to film the breathtaking view. But what started as a simple video to capture the serene beauty of the coastline turned into something far more chilling. As she panned a camera across the beach and surrounding scenery, everything seemed normal until she turned the camera back toward the hotel. For a brief moment, the lens caught a glimpse of their sliding glass door, and that's when it appeared. Behind the glass, a strange face was peering from inside the hotel room. The face was wrinkled with a prominent oversized nose, staring silently back at the camera. The unsettling part, no one in the family noticed anything unusual during their stay. It wasn't until they returned home and reviewed the footage that they spotted this eerie figure. Though the family didn't experience any strange events during their trip, they couldn't shake the haunting thought, who or what had been watching them.
Beautiful Myrtle Beach.
During a live TV broadcast, an unusual event captured viewers' attention. The camera was showing the atmosphere over a scenic stretch of land with clouds rolling in on one side. As the camera panned toward the area, something strange happened. A shadowy, swiftly moving figure glided through the scene, almost too quick to catch at first glance. Its shape was ominous, and its movement sent chills down the spine of those watching. Observers have since referred to it as a Dementor, likening it to the eerie creatures from folklore and fiction. What could this have been? A trick of the light, an optical illusion, or something more mysterious?
Dementor! Dementor! Do you see them? I don't know what that is. Maybe it's be lightning. I'll tell you what that is, Michael. That's Dementors.
Would you visit a cemetery at night? That's a straight no or a yes.
I could have sworn I saw the arm go up. Whoa, wait, no way.
Well, these guys thought it would be a fun idea to take a little trip, an excursion to the cemetery one evening, and were shocked by this. I don't know what they were expecting, but pay attention to the clip. The object in view is supposed to be a statue or something along those lines at the cemetery. If you look clearly, however, you'll notice that it's moving. Do you see it? The last time we checked, statues aren't supposed to move, yet we see one right now moving in ways you wouldn't expect it to. This freaked them out, and they got out of the place as soon as they could. I get the thrill that comes with seeking out these things, but it's one thing to accidentally encounter them and escape, and another to go searching for them hoping to escape. Now, the latter is unwise if you ask me, but, well, hey, each to his own, I guess. Perhaps I'm just cowardly. Okay, on to the next.
Okay, are my eyes playing tricks on me? I could have sworn I saw the arm go up. Whoa, wait, no way.
Moving on from Doneto, we've got this clip that's allegedly from South Africa. I'm not sure we've seen anything move through the sky with this much color. Some in the paranormal community believe it's some sort of comet or meteorite moving through the sky. A number can't help but feel it's something else. To start off, comets usually have a bright burning color. This, on the other hand, has a multitude of colors. That alone makes people feel it's something else, perhaps something from another dimension. It's hard to say. Some also think it's AI and not real or genuine, but you've seen the clip, so what do you also think? So someone on this channel sent us this close-up of a cryptid he'd encountered close to his home. According to him, he had to fight it off because it wanted nothing more but his heart. Well, that was a lie. Of course I'm lying. Was it believable, though? Did you buy it? I bet you probably didn't. Now, tell me I'm not the only one who initially thought this was real. I mean, the eyes, the face, the skin, and everything else. It might not be perfect, but just about as close as to what I would imagine the real thing to be. It turns out, though, that this is nothing but a prop for a set. So basically, we're looking at a man in a costume and nothing more. Speaking of mysteries, I've got another one for you, all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio. This was uploaded by one Tim Clayton, who claims this image was captured after he'd installed motion cameras on his brother's property. To add a bit of context, at the time the image was captured, his brother was supposed to be alone. His brother is the individual on the left, but the one on the right, they've no idea who or what it is. There wasn't supposed to be anyone but his brother there, and physically there was no one there. That makes it shocking for the camera to capture this. When the story was shared, almost all who saw it stated that it was probably the spirit of the previous tenant. I mean, after everything we've seen and experienced on this channel, it's not impossible, but maybe, just maybe, I'm being blinded by my past experiences. What say you? A man shared this interesting video he took from the top of a building. He had his camera pointed down, casually filming the street below. Just the usual houses, cars, and quiet street life. And then this happened. Out of nowhere, a beam of light shoots straight down from the sky and strikes the ground. Where it hits, there's a brief flash, a burst of flames, and then it's gone. All that's left is a small cloud of smoke rising from the impact point. Now let's take a closer look. That wasn't lightning. No thunder, no storm, and it didn't have the flicker or scatter you usually see with natural strikes. This looked controlled and precise, almost like it was fired from something. But there's no visible source, no aircraft, no drones, no satellite trails, nothing. And that's exactly why people are now speculating that this could be a DEW, a direct energy weapon. These are advanced weapons designed to fire focused energy beams that can strike with pinpoint accuracy and leave little to no trace behind except, well, a fireball and smoke, apparently. But skeptics are saying this is all a setup. They argue it's just another staged hoax with how conveniently the guy had his camera rolling at that exact moment. Have you ever owned a haunted object? No? Well, let's take a look at this eerie footage shared by a man who believes he might have bought one. He picked up his guitar at a yard sale from an elderly woman in his neighborhood. Since bringing it home, he claims to have experienced some very strange occurrences. As soon as he strums the guitar, objects in the room begin to fall, and the lights flicker uncontrollably. Some skeptics are saying it's just a clever trick, but the man insists he's no history of paranormal encounters. Everything started after he brought the guitar home. This seems quite unsettling to me. Could the guitar really be haunted, or is it just a well-orchestrated hoax? I guess we'll never really know. Well, unless he lives near one of you, and you could visit him and verify his claim. That would be nice, wouldn't it? A group of men decided to explore an abandoned house deep in the woods, but what they found right on the porch set the tone for something straight out of a horror movie. There it was, an odd-looking bird swaying back and forth, its wings drooped unnaturally, and the whole scene radiated an eerie vibe. At first glance, it felt like the opening act of some supernatural thriller, but after a closer look, it was clear. The bird was just an owl. Here's where it gets interesting. Across many cultures and beliefs, owls are seen as mysterious symbols, sometimes tied to witches, evil omens, or even supernatural forces. Their nocturnal nature and piercing eyes don't exactly help their case either. Now, let's be rational. Maybe the owl was injured, which could explain its strange behavior and why it didn't fly away. But then again, could there be more to this sighting than meets the eye? Was this just a coincidence, or was the owl's presence a harbinger of something deeper? Something that we can't explain? What's your take? injured bird, or something more sinister. Next, we've got this clip sent to us by a man who was, well, traveling one night when he saw what you're seeing on your screen. If it's not already clear enough, there's a child down there, which is odd. First of all, that's the last place you would expect a child to hang around, and secondly, where is the light source coming from and how is the shadow being cast down there? These were the questions the man had when he was filming the shadow. A number of individuals who had seen the clip before we did stated that it was almost likely a shadow being down there. Others thought it was something more sinister, say a group of people casting a shadow of a boy down there to lure the unsuspecting so they could rob them. The theories were basically endless, but this made more sense to me, and it's got me wondering what it is that we could really be dealing with. I refused to ask Julius because I could deal with a judgmental tone, but you guys are different. You've always got great ideas and you're never judgmental or mean. So can you help demystify this mystery? A man decided to explore an old, abandoned mine. It was one of those late afternoon adventures that quickly slipped into nightfall. And as he walked deeper into the tunnel, the only thing that greeted him was silence, at first. But not long after, he started to hear strange noises echoing from somewhere in the darkness. The sounds were distant at first, but then they kept getting louder, almost like something was moving under there with him. Curiosity or maybe something else pushed him further in. Eventually, he came to a rusted metal barricade deep within the mine. Beyond it, everything was pitch black. But the noises were louder now, definitely not his imagination. He held up his phone past the barricade into the darkness, and that's when he saw it. Something was walking out of the shadows. Slowly, cautiously, it had long, spindly limbs, far too thin to be a human. The way it moved, the way its form stretched unnaturally, didn't look like anything that should exist down there. As soon as the man laid eyes on it, panic set in. He didn't stick around to get a better look. He turned and ran as fast as he could out of that mine. Even though the footage was brief, the image still lingers. That thing in the tunnel, whatever it was, did not belong down there. What do you think he saw in that mine? Just in case you're wondering, this mysterious stone was allegedly found in the pharaoh's sarcophagus and is rumored to accelerate blood circulation when it comes into contact with the body. We're not sure who released it into the public space, but the paranormal community has been divided on it. Some believe this is legit, whereas others think it's all made up to attract views and 5 minutes of fame. The Sherlock Holmes in me did some investigating and digging around and discovered nothing. There was literally no trace of this except for the one post that claimed it was from the pharaoh's tomb. A quick image search on Google did find some similar items, but they were nothing more than jewelry. Not sure how to interpret or take it, but you guys have seen it, so what do you think? A cat owner shared some creepy footage captured on a home security camera. In the video, her cat is sitting in the room, staring intently at 2 dolls on a chair. The cat seems focused on something as if watching something move, but nothing is visible to us. Then, suddenly, the cat bolts out of the room, clearly frightened. Now let's watch the footage again. Look closely at the dolls. You'll notice a shadowy figure briefly moving. The homeowner, who hadn't experienced any unusual activity in the house before, was shocked when she reviewed the footage. Given that cats are often believed to have heightened spiritual sensitivity, it's hard not to wonder if something was really going on here. We've talked about chemtrails a lot on this channel. You know, those strange trails in the sky that people swear aren't just harmless condensation. Whether it's weather modification, mind control, or something even deeper, the theory's out there, and for good reason. Too many of us have seen patterns, footage, and effects that don't quite add up. But the clip we're looking at today, it's something else entirely. There's no plane in sight, just the chemtrail and a shadow, a clear dark streak running alongside it in the sky, and that's what's so strange. If there's no plane, what exactly is casting that shadow? It doesn't move, it just lingers perfectly aligned like it's stretched into the clouds. I've watched it frame by frame and it still doesn't make any sense. Some are saying it's a trick of the light or atmospheric illusion, but others think it's proof of something being projected or hidden from view. Whatever it is, it's unsettling. This is Corleo, a robotic marvel straight out of Japan developed by Kawasaki. It's a four-legged robot designed to carry a human rider, yeah, like a mechanical horse. And honestly, it's one of the most impressive yet slightly unsettling things to come out of robotics in recent years. Just watch how it moves very smoothly with calculated steps across uneven rocky terrain. It doesn't wobble, it doesn't hesitate, it just climbs up hills and slopes with ease, then descends like it knows exactly what it's doing. The rider on its back barely flinches. That's how balanced and precise this machine is. It mimics the way real animals move with such fluidity that you almost forget you're watching a robot. And as much as I want to applaud the technology, and I do, there's a part of me that finds it just a little too advanced. It's like we're watching the first steps towards something bigger, something that maybe doesn't stop at just being helpful. Think about it. Robotic animals that can carry humans, climb mountains, and potentially go where real machines can't. Well, this isn't just a cool gadget, it's a glimpse into the future of mobility, warfare, rescue missions, and who knows what else. It's impressive, it's exciting, but it's also a little bit terrifying. What do you think? Moving on, we visit a clip allegedly from a concert that shows something rather disturbing. Did you catch that? Among the crowds, there's an individual standing whose body was made completely of light. That's not normal, right? When I first saw it, my inner Sherlock Holmes wanted to believe it was one of the lights hitting the participants of the concert, but well, after looking at it multiple times, it looks like the light was originating from the individual. He wasn't reflecting on it. Many in the paranormal community saw this and concluded it was an angel. Some even mentioned that the energy from the concerts sometimes creates an energy field that allows paranormal beings to manifest. A few decades ago, I would have thought that was just ludicrous, but today, however, thinks it's not impossible. You've seen the clip. What do you also think? Are we dealing with the supernatural, or is there a more supernatural reason for what we are seeing? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we visit Florida, where some type of unusual creature has been caught on camera. Some are calling it a submarine, but I can't be the only one who notices this might be shallow water. If it's shallow water, I doubt we have a submarine there. Someone also mentions instead of it being a sub, it could just be an underwater spy drone. I'm not exactly sure if that's what this is, but looking at it, it could be anything, at least from my point of view. But what do you also see? Night shift encounters are often the most unsettling ones, and this story just proves that. A young woman was working the late shift at a building. At some point during her shift, she started hearing odd noises like someone was pacing or waltzing just outside. So she stepped onto the balcony to look around, but there was nothing. Complete silence, just darkness and empty space. She brushed it off and decided to head back inside. She stepped into the elevator alone and was the only one there at the time, so she took the opportunity to roll a cart back to her station. But then the camera inside the elevator caught something chilling. As she stood there on the reflective elevator wall, her phone captured the pale face of a woman. She had a hollow black eye and an eerie, gaping mouth. The reflection was right behind her, but when she turned around, there was no one there. Nothing. Just her. Since that night, she's said to have felt strange, cold spots, unexplainable noises, and the constant sense that she's being watched. She believes that whatever that thing was, it followed her home, and that it latched onto her somehow. But what exactly was it? She says it was a demon, but others think it could have been a ghost. There are some who also believe she's making a fuss over nothing, but what do you guys think? Most of the time when we see strange sightings, our first instinct is usually, well, it's probably just someone in a costume, and fair enough, plenty of hoaxes out there. But then there are those clips that are just too hard to debunk. Take this footage, for example. A woman was at home when she noticed something bizarre. Through a window above a front door, she saw a head of a strange creature peeking inside the house. It had long, dark hair, and its face could not be made out clearly. Here's the thing. That window is way too high for any normal person to just stand there and look in. It's that high, almost touching the ceiling. You need a ladder or something just to reach it. So what exactly was up there? Some say it might be a ghost, others believe it's some type of cryptid, something not entirely human but also not quite animal. So what do you think it is? Comes from Lane, a drone operator from Louisiana, who had an unexpected encounter while flying his drone in a field.
This is the drone photo. There is nothing around him.
He'd sent his drone airborne, capturing photos of the area. However, one particular photo revealed something strange that Lane could not explain.
There's nothing anywhere around him. It's just a very flat field.
In the capture, Lane is seen standing in the field, but behind him, there appears to be a massive figure. He was, however, unable to decode or identify the figure, so he sent the photo to a professional analyst for further examination. After analysis, it was determined that whatever was in the photograph measured an astonishing 8 feet tall and 4 feet wide. What's even more unsettling is that Lane didn't see or sense anything unusual when the photograph was taken. He was completely unaware of this towering figure behind him. Despite the analysis, the exact nature of this entity remains a mystery. Naturally, when this got to the paranormal community, it became speculation and theory. Some thought it was a cryptid, aka Bigfoot, whereas others thought it had to be an otherworldly being. When this got back to my team, Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, felt like it had to be Bigfoot, but many in the team sided with him. With the exception of Julius, of course. He shook his head several times and told us it definitely had to be a tree. In order to not escalate the debates in the team office, I didn't offer my explanation, but you guys can offer yours. What do you think we're dealing with? A man was relaxing in his home when he was startled by a loud noise coming from the gate outside. He went to check the source of the sound. As he approached the gate, he was taken aback to see a strange figure standing there. The person was unnaturally pale and shirtless with an eerie presence. Without any hesitation, the mysterious figure simply walked up to the gate and, to the man's horror, passed right through like a ghost and walks toward the house. Unfortunately, the footage cuts off right there, but the question is, what was that figure? It's definitely not human, or is it? Anyway, what do you guys think? This photo was taken back in 2015 by a man named Samuel. He was just hanging out in the living room with 3 other people. 2 were across the room chatting, and 1 was lying on the couch glued to their phone. It was nothing out of the ordinary, just a chill night. Samuel decided to take a quick selfie to capture the moment, but what showed up in the photograph was anything but ordinary. If you look at the top left side of the image, there it is, a strange humanoid figure just standing in the background. At first glance, it almost blends in, but the more you look, the more chilling it becomes. The figure looks like a woman in what seems to be a robe with short curly hair. None of the people present recall seeing anyone like that in the house. In fact, no one noticed anything unusual until they looked at the photograph later. There's something ghostly about her presence, the way she just stands there completely still, barely noticeable. She doesn't look pixelated or glitched like you'd expect from a camera era. She looks real, too real. Samuel didn't provide much context either. He didn't say if he recognized her or if maybe someone who once lived or died in that house might have resembled her. But what we do know is that there were 4 individuals physically in that room, so who was the 5th figure in the photo? This next footage comes from Mexico and it's got the internet buzzing. What you're looking at is a strange craft just hovering silently over the area, not moving forward, not shifting to the side, just sitting there still, almost like it was watching something. Now, what makes this even more bizarre is how stable it looks. There's no sound, no visible propellers, no obvious signs of how it even stayed in the air. It doesn't look like a drone, and it certainly doesn't move like a plane or helicopter. Most people who've seen this clip are quick to say the same thing. This could be a UFO, and honestly, it's hard to argue with that. Mexico has long been a hot spot for strange aerial sightings. From ancient legends about sky gods to more recent UFO reports, there's just something about this region that keeps attracting the unexplained. Some believe the certain locations act like energy portals or hotspots, drawing in unknown crafts from who knows where. As for the footage, there's no clear answer yet. No one's come forward to claim it was a prank, and no authorities have said it is a weather balloon or military test.
Que é isso? Passa, Thiago, passa, velho. Passa, velho, acelera.
What do you do when you encounter strange individuals in masks on such a lonely and dark path in the middle of nowhere? Personally, I'd floor it and get the hell out of there, but the brave lads in this vehicle decided to film it and drive slowly. I'm not sure of the story here, but that's the last thing you should do in any situation like this. What if they have lethal weapons? What if they're paranormal beings capable of phasing into your car? Do you get where I'm going with this? Either way, the original uploaders of the clip believe they may have stumbled into some sort of ritual ongoing in the woods. They're not sure which, but are glad to still be alive. What do you guys think of the whole thing? And would you have done the same thing in their situation?
Eita. Que porra é essa? Será que eu passo? Que é isso? Passa, Thiago, passa, velho. Passa, velho, acelera.
Now, this right here is what Halloween is all about. The perfect mix of fun, fright, and a little chaos. So here's what happened to a group of kids who were out trick-or-treating when they arrived at this one particular house that had decided to do something different about it. At the doorway stood this giant alien creature holding out a bowl of candy. The design was incredible. The alien told the kids to come closer and grab some candy. So the kids walk up, nervously giggling, reaching into the bowl when suddenly the alien's eye enlarges. The kids scream, jump back, and bolt off the porch. It was so sudden and brilliantly executed. The eye movement looked so realistic that even adults watching the footage got spooked for a second. Some viewers, however, believe that it might not be a costume at all, but an actual alien blending in for Halloween.
Take one.
And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Whoever built this costume deserves a reward. That's amazing, right? If you were out trick or treating, what would you dress up as? I think I'd make a good vampire. Yeah, Dracula. Anyway, with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us, and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Share this with someone you love. Share this with your family, with your friends, with people that annoy the hell out of you. I don't care. Just share, 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 share. Thank you very much. And I will see you in the next one.